Hi guys, Goddess Awake here again. This video is going to be about how to reprogram your thoughts with positivity and how to break that cycle of negativity. It comes in particularly handy if you're struggling with mental illness or depression, any kind of mental illness. Obviously, there's a long list and they all affect us in all different ways. Um, but from my own personal experience, I was diagnosed with PTSD, borderline personality disorder, depression, and anxiety. And I've used all these tips that I'm about to talk to you about to help me sort of break that cycle and just stop the negativity that's constantly taking over your thought process and constantly getting in the way of life. And you, all those judgments you give to yourself, this helps stop it and break that cycle. So I am going to be reading from notes, so bear with me if I'm doing a lot of reading and looking down, then that's why. There's a lot to remember on my notes, so I've had to make notes to do it so that I can make sure that you guys get the biggest picture of how to help yourself and how to break the cycle that you can do. So, changing your thought patterns. We often talk bad about ourselves and give ourselves a hard time, and the subconscious hears every last bit of it. After listening to all this negative self talk for years and years, the subconscious mind believes everything that you've told it repeatedly. This has programmed your mind to believe you are not worthy of happiness or for your dreams to come true. However, you can turn these beliefs around and reprogram your mind to believe positive things about yourself. To reprogram your thoughts with positivity, you have to firstly be aware of the negative thoughts you are constantly thinking. Once you are aware of them, you can stop yourself mid sentence and change it around. For example, if you catch yourself thinking you aren't good enough or you can't do something, then stop the thought in its tracks and replace it with the thoughts like, I am good enough, or I can do this, or I can do anything I want to do, or I am insert name here, I am magnificent, I am creative, I am strong, I am caring, I am kind, or I only choose thoughts that will raise my vibration, or I choose to focus on the good bits of the situation and I will let the rest go. Use whichever positive affirmation you like, as long as it's positive and it flips the negativity on its head, you can use anything. Now repeat the short process every time you catch yourself having a negative thought. The more you do this, the more it will come natural to you and you will do it automatically eventually. So being aware of your thoughts and your words is really powerful. It's really important. If you catch yourself negging yourself out and saying, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, stop yourself mid sentence and switch it all on its head. Do it every time you catch yourself doing it. It really, really will eventually stop them thoughts coming in quite so often. And the more you do it, the more eventually you'll start believing all these positive things that you're telling yourself. So it's really, really worth being aware every time you start negging yourself out, being negative about yourself, and just thinking stuff that's not actually true. Be aware of what you're thinking and stop it, stop that process, and just switch it all on its head and replace it with positivity. Your brain doesn't know if you're being sarcastic or not. Your brain doesn't know if you actually believe it. It's just hearing it and it's taking it in. So no matter how daft it feels or how much you don't believe it, just do it anyway. Nobody can tell what's going on in your mind. Nobody can hear your thoughts. So just go for it. It does work. And the more you do it, the more power it has. So keep going with that one. As well as being aware of your thoughts, it would make sense to be aware of your words too, as negative speech has the same effect as negative thoughts. Are you constantly putting yourself down verbally? Do you use a lot of negative words like can't, should, need? All of these words are low vibration words and will keep your vibration low if you use them often. If you can use better words, you will allow your vibration to raise. For example, instead of saying, I can't wait for next weekend, you could say, I'm really looking forward to next weekend. Or instead of I should be doing this or that, you could say I want to do this or that. Words have significant power, as do thoughts, so the more aware you are of your thoughts and words, the easier it is to switch things up. Not only that, but the more you change your thoughts to positivity, the happier you will feel and the more confident you will be, as well as manifesting your dreams into reality a lot quicker. And that's just because you're vibrating higher, you're choosing positive words, positive thoughts, your vibration's not being held down by that negative impact as much. So your vibration will just keep going higher and higher. You'll feel better about yourself, you'll feel better about your thoughts. And if you can do it all the time, it really does stop those negative thoughts like intruding so much. So, the more pep talks you can give yourself, the easier things will be. You'll notice yourself spiraling upwards instead of downwards, and you'll start to feel a sense of clarity when the mental fog starts to lift. If you can become your own best friend and your own cheerleader, be that person for yourself that you've always wanted or needed. Be that person that you've always seeked out to be, somebody that is there for you, someone that's supportive to you and is a cheerleader for you. If nobody else is going to do it for you, then you can do it for yourself. And it feels strange to start with. It does feel a bit strange bigging yourself up and all this, but once you get used to it, it really does help. And be your own cheerleader, be your own best friend, be that person saying all the right things that you've always needed. Be that person to yourself, and it'll feel so much more rewarding and so much more of a positive impact for you. It's better than what it would be if you got that from somebody else. So if you can just try it and then try it again and keep trying and trying with it, it will have a positive impact. Okay, so if you can be that person that you've always needed, you need to start putting yourself first so that you can be a better role model for others. You can't help anybody else until you're in a good place yourself. So start with number one, then you'll be in a better position to help others when the time comes. If you do all the research on yourself, if you think of it like investigative journalism, you're going through all the darkness so that you can then go and help more people deeply and in a better way. And you'll raise the consciousness of the whole planet more, and the person that you're helping will get a bigger benefit from it, as well as yourself. You'll get a bigger boost from it because you've helped yourself and you've done all these little things that you can do to make things a tiny bit better in those moments. So you'll know all the tricks of the trade because you will have done them yourself, and you can pass them on then to other people, and we can just spread the process, spread the love by doing this. It is some serious, hardcore investigative journalism, but it really will help in the end. So helping yourself first is called self-love, and it is by far the most important part of your journey. Practice self-care every single day and commit yourself to changing thought patterns and how you see yourself. This is the key to all the happiness in the world. You could be having a real difficult time in life, but if you change the way that you think about it and the way that you respond to it, then you're actually winning, and you're actually loving yourself, and you're actually changing everything in your life in that moment, and you are attracting loads and loads of well-deserved happiness into your life by doing that. So love yourself, give yourself a break, be your own cheerleader, be your own best friend, help yourself spiral upwards instead of spiraling downwards. Don't be discouraged, just keep moving forward with it, and it really will start sinking in and become second nature. Other things you can do to show love for yourself. This is a great one. It might seem a bit funny to start with, and the first time you do it, you might want to laugh at yourself and just be like, what am I doing? But keep doing it. It makes you feel really good, and it makes you laugh because you feel silly doing it. So it does bring you a little bit of a smile and a giggle because it feels daft, but it works. So when you get out of bed in the morning, go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you love you. You can do this in your mind or you can say it out loud. It's up to you. It's completely between you and yourself, so don't feel too silly. Do it every day when you get out of bed and repeat as often as you need to throughout the day. So every time you go into the toilets or you go past a mirror, you just look at yourself, give yourself a cheeky smile and go, I love you. Give it some proper oomph and go, I love you, I love you, I'm in love with me, I'm my own best friend. Keep doing it. It sounds silly and it will make you laugh, but it's worth it. You've got to start loving yourself and telling yourself that you love yourself and proving that you love yourself. And this is a great way to get that ball rolling. So think about or list all of the things in your life that you are grateful for. It can be anything from your kids to your favourite cup. It can be helpful to write them down so that you can go back and look at them or meditate on the list at a later date. Another thing you can do is do a gratitude journal. So every day write down either 5 or 10 things that you're grateful for that day. Things that you were happy happened, things that you got a benefit from, things that taught you a specific lesson, um, anything that you're grateful for. It can be the smallest thing ever. It can be, I'm grateful that my partner put the toilet seat down, or it can be something huge, like I'm really grateful that stranger helped me today in my time of need, or I'm really grateful for my amazing kids, or I'm really grateful for my pet. I'm really grateful for mine. She's floating about again somewhere, my cat. She likes to get in on the action, bless her. So yeah, list all the things that you're grateful for. Even if it's you're grateful for a good night's sleep, you're grateful for the temperature being the right temperature, you're grateful for whatever TV programs you watched. I mean, I don't normally condone TV programs, but it can be something like that. Just anything that you were grateful for in the day. Get it written down, keep it in your journal, or just list it out loud just to say thank you. So, what's next? We've got stop making excuses for why you can't do something and figure out all of the ways you could do it instead. Now, it's so easy for us to say, I can't do it because of this, I can't do it because of that. And before we know it, we're listing hundreds of reasons why we can't do something. And it's so easy to get into that mindset. So if we can stop that process before it goes off on its tangent and talks us out of everything that we want to do, if we can sit there and list all the reasons why we want to do it or why it might be good for us, then it gives you that positivity and that encouragement to go and do it. Um, and it'll help you not talk yourself out of quite so many things as well. If you can sort of come up with plenty of reasons why you can do it, then you're talking yourself into it rather than talking yourself out of it. And that's got to be a bonus. Just think of all the things we talk ourselves out of when we're having a bad mental health day. It's so easy. If you can break that cycle and swap it on its head, then you're winning big time. So tell yourself as well that you've got this, you can do it. Think of all the little reasons why you can do something, then think of all the big reasons why you can do something. And don't let those negative ones creep in there while you're doing that exercise. They are not part of the exercise in breaking the cycle. So, what next? We've got, if something is going wrong, ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? Find the silver lining to every cloud, no matter how small or minor the lining. It is always there. Now, this one can be a bit tricky. In some negative circumstances, say for example, someone's passed away, somebody that you love has died, or relationships have broken down, something like that, it's going to be really difficult to find the silver lining. But in most cases, there will still be a silver lining. So, for example, a good friend of mine passed away recently, and it was obviously really difficult, and it was not a nice situation because he was a good friend, and it was way too young for him to die. And I was absolutely dreading going to his funeral, as you can imagine. But when I go in there, the silver lining was that I got chatting to one of his other friends, and it turns out that we've got quite a bit in common, and we wanted to keep in touch. And we wanted to keep in touch so we could share stories about our friend together. But it's also that it's a new friendship and it's a silver lining to a really dark cloud. Now, I know that silver lining doesn't make up for the dark cloud, and it doesn't wipe out that negativity that happened or the incident that happened or whatever, but it gives us something else to focus on. While we're hurting and everything is so painful, it gives us something else to focus on, and it helps us find a little bit of joy in a real bad situation. So when we're really struggling and we need that little glimmer of hope or that little flicker of light, it is there, you just have to find it. And once you do find it, hold on to it and focus on that as much as you can. um, I mean, obviously, when you've lost somebody, it is okay to feel down and it is okay to feel upset, and you're grieving, you're going through a real bad process. And other, same with other things in life that make us feel that way. So don't beat yourself up for that, but try and find the smallest silver lining wherever you can. It brings a difference to your life and it helps you realise that not all bad situations are 100% doom and gloom. There is that tiny little glimmer there for you if you look for it. Okay. So if you don't like something or something gets you reacting with anger, then ask yourself, what is the about this situation that you don't like? Can you change or affect the situation in this moment? If you can change it, if you can, then change it. If you can't, then you have to let it go. If this situation keeps happening, ask yourself, when was the first time I ever felt like this? What triggered that response the first time? I guarantee you will uncover some interesting behaviour patterns and find out where certain reactions come from. Um, and you just allow yourself the forgiveness for feeling like that in the first instance. Talk to your inner child, reparent that inner child. Go back to when you was younger and something happened and your inner child has been holding on to that. Go and reparent your inner child. Tell your inner child that you love it and you're there for it and you're going to support them. And it was okay to feel upset. It was okay to feel angry. Um, if you can't change anything in the situation, then you have to let it go and learn to look at it differently. If you can't look at it differently, it's just going to keep going over and over in your head. So try and look at the situation differently. What can you learn from it? What are you reacting for? Is it something that you don't like? Is it something that happened to you in the past? Is it part of your behaviour being reflected back at yourself that you don't like? Dissect the situation. If something's irritating you or annoying you, dissect it. Find out if it's you or if it's a mirror of you, or find out if it's just them dealing with their issues. Figure it out and see if there's something to be learnt from in that moment. Okay, so be aware of what you're putting into your body, whether it's food, drink, thoughts, words, music, other people's opinions, toxins, and negativity. All of these carry energy and it's usually low vibration energy. So make sure you put mainly good energy into your system rather than bad energy. Find that balance. Don't be constantly listening to thrash metal music. I mean, if that's your thing, fair enough, but mix it up with some happy music. Do you know what I mean? Or if you eat constantly rubbish food, try and get some good for your food in there along the way. Balance it out so it's not all just one or the other. You need to get some good vibe stuff into your life and into your body and like raise your vibration with high vibe stuff. You don't want to be constantly, if you think of it like a swamp, if you're constantly putting sludge in this swamp, it's always going to be that way, isn't it? If you start clearing out the sludge and you start putting clear water in there and healthy plants and beautiful things and wildlife, it's going to start changing into it to a beautiful oasis. So if you think of your body that way, just be aware of how much negative stuff you're putting into your body and you're being around. If you're watching a lot of negative TV, that's going to keep your vibration lower. So give yourself a break, go for a walk in nature, go do some meditation, break it up a bit so that it's not just the low vibe negative stuff going into your body. Food prepared by other people will absorb their moods and energy as well while they're handling it. So if you go out for a meal and you come out in a bad mood, ask ask yourself, what mood were the waitresses in? What mood were the staff in? Were they in a good mood? Because your food's going to absorb all their energy. If they're beating your dinner up before they bring it out to you or before they cook it, then you're going to feel like that after. So be aware of where you eat and who makes your food. And before you eat it, try and maybe bless your food and ask the universe to transmute it to love and light. Say that you're grateful for the food, and it helps bring out the positive energy rather than the negative energy that it could have picked up being made. Okay, so next we've got meditate, meditate, meditate. I cannot recommend this enough. Start with short 5-minute meditations or hypnosis. You can do guided ones on YouTube, on my own channel. There's loads, there's absolutely loads out there. There's some are really short, really quick ones just to get you into it, and then you can do ones that are like an hour, 2 hours long. Once you get into it, it's up to you. Do whatever feels comfortable. Do it as often as it feels comfortable. And if you can do it every day, that'd be great. But just do what feels good to you. There's loads of guided ones out there, so you don't have to even know what you're doing. There's no wrong way to meditate. That's the real important thing. There's no wrong way to meditate. All meditation is focusing your mind. Now, if you're trying to meditate and you're getting all these other voices and thoughts and things coming into your head distracting you, just be aware of them, accept them for what they are, and then just bring your focus back to what you're doing. That's all you have to do. Don't beat yourself up if your mind's wandering and wandering. Just be aware of the thoughts that's happening while it's wandering, and then just bring yourself back into the present moment. And you just do that as many times as you need to throughout the meditation. It happens to the best of us. Unless you've been meditating for 30 years in a cave, you're probably going to keep getting distractions coming in unless you're super, super good at meditating. But the key is to just not be annoyed at the situation or not be annoyed when that happens. Just allow them to the thoughts to come in and allow them to pass right out and draw your attention back to what you're doing. So not only will it help you release negativity, but it'll help you get to sleep, it'll help you get rid of anxiety, depression, it'll help you with law of attraction. So if you want to bring something into your life, meditate on it, it'll come into your life a lot quicker. If you want to understand something, meditate. You can do past life regressions to meditate. You can meditate on absolutely everything and anything, and it will always help you, and it will always help you learn something or quiet part of your mind or to move forward in some way. It is just the best thing I can recommend anybody to do. Do it often, every day if you can. Do it in the morning or do it at night, or if you like, do it like I do. And I listen to guided hypnosis with binaural beats all through the night through headphones while I sleep. That works an absolute treat. If you can do it in the daytime as well, it's really good to help calm down and to keep your vibration at a good level and just to keep you on a good balance, basically. Okay, so what else? I might have to split this video into two. It's going to be a long one otherwise. So the next one. Check your astrology reports and star signs. They have a strong influence over daily life. They can also explain a few things that you may be blaming yourself for. So some people don't really believe in star signs and astrology, but I really suggest you check it out, especially astrological reports, because I guarantee if you're having a particularly funky time where you're struggling and you're not sure why and everything's irritating you or going wrong, check to see if Mercury is in retrograde, because every time Mercury goes into retrograde, it throws up a lot of funky energy for us and a lot of interesting things to deal with, a lot of interesting lessons. So it could more than not more likely than not be astrological. So check those things out. They've always got important messages and information, and a lot of them give you a good explanation for things as well. So don't be blaming yourself if it's something that's planetary or galactic or astrological. Go check it out first and see what it's saying, so you're not giving yourself a bad time over something that's nothing to do with you. So we've talked about crystals as well before on the Goddess Awake channel. As I am a crystal therapist, I'm like massively into crystals, so we're always going to come back to them. But crystals are super helpful in reprogramming your thought patterns and raising your vibration. They can give you an extra layer of power to your manifestations, healing, and creativity, and will help you focus on living in the moment with joy and love. If you're unsure where to start with crystals, please ask, I can help. If not, there's loads of other videos, there's loads of books, there's online courses you can do. There's so much information out there, you just have to dig and find it basically. But if you do have any questions about crystals, just come and ask me. Just drop me a message, comment below, no problem. I can go into detail with it with you and help you figure out which is the best crystals for you. So get creative. This is a big thing. Get creative. Whatever your creative outlet is, do a lot more of it. So, are you a painter? Are you a singer? Are you a photographer like me? Do you like to make arts and crafts? Do you like jewellery? Do you like to write poetry? Do you like to make films or music or anything creative? If you like to do it more often. Do it as often as you can, maybe even every day if you can. Being creative, it switches the spiritual brains on and we step into alignment with our higher selves. We really are in the flow of love and light when we are creative and when we can receive spiritual downloads of information and knowledge while in the flow state. It doesn't matter if you do it just for fun or if you do it for a living, just get creative. It'll help you get into alignment with yourself. It'll help you to get rid of any negativity because you're sort of bringing it out in a creative way rather than holding on to it. It can bring Being creative can bring messages from the universe or higher beings or angels, loved ones, celestials. Anything like that can happen when we're being creative. A lot of people do like automatic writing and they get messages through that way through from higher beings or loved ones or the higher self. So it's definitely worth doing. Be creative for yourself more than anything. Tune into your own power, your own talent. Do it for you. Do it for something because you love doing it and it's going to make you feel better. If you enjoy it, it's going to raise your vibration. And if you can make money from it as well, then you're onto a winner there if you can make money from doing your favourite things. So always get creative in some way, shape or form. Okay, so the next one is do some research and study. So you can do this by watching videos on YouTube, you can read books, or you can go within and meditate. You can find a spiritual guide to answer your questions and help you. You can find a spiritual teacher to help you. Here's a list of people to research. This is my top list of all the people I've researched to try and help me on my own spiritual journey and to get some answers from people basically. So there's Teal Swan. She is amazing, really good. She's great with psychology and spirituality, and she just helps you see things. She's blunt, but she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's also Drumbelow Melchizedek. He is absolutely amazing. He talks a lot about the macabre and the Ankh technique and the flower of life. He works through Thoth, the Egyptian god, so he gets a lot of information through that way. Um, He's brilliant. He is really interesting, so I really recommend him. There's Barbara Marciniak, who channels the Pleiadians. Her information is mind blowing, absolutely brilliant. There's not you will not go away without learning something new from Barbara Marciniak. I've watched her videos on repeat as well. She's just brilliant. There's also Barbara Hand Clow, Barbara Marks Hubbard, David Wilcock, David Icke, Emery Smith, Regina Meredith, George Norrie, Helena P. Blavatsky, Rhonda Byrne, Abraham Hicks, Alan Watts, Leonardo da Vinci, Galileo, Nostradamus, Corey Good, and Barbara Goldsmith. All of those will have something to teach you about spirituality and cosmic disclosure, the galaxy. There's just so many things that you can learn from those people. Then what they know it's amazing. They know all kinds of different things, and they've got plenty of information out there as well. There's books, videos, TV shows. If you're into those kind of things, then I suggest you check out Gaia. It's like Netflix, but for spirituality and truth seeking and ancient wisdom and disclosure and everything in between. So I really recommend that you get Gaia. I'm a massive fan of it myself, and everything you could ever want is all on one place. So go check it out. If you're into like all those things I've just mentioned, it's definitely worth checking out. So the next one on the list, I hope you're still with me, guys. It's a long one. This is. I might split it into two videos. But yes, anyway, the next one. Tune into your spirit guides and higher self. Your higher self is your highest good at heart, as do your spirit guides. They can help you in so many ways and are beings of love and light, so they will guide you onto the best path for your highest good. You can connect with your higher self or spirit guides through quieting in the mind, either through meditation or binaural beats or hypnosis. Methods like automatic writing, scrying, divination, and dream journaling can also be effective ways of communicating with spirit guides, etc. So if you're sensitive to those sort of things, tune into them. And if you're not, you can train yourself to be. You just have to keep meditating, keep doing the visualizations, keep doing the binaural beats, and it'll surprise you what comes through. Actually, it did me. I thought I was going nuts to start with, but I realized it was spirit I was connecting with, and I realized it was higher beings I was connecting with. And once I got past the fear and the doubts, obviously thinking I was crazy, it was a lot more interesting and a lot more sort of free, I can't say it, free flowing. There we go. Um, so yeah, definitely worth a shot. You'll definitely get some interesting information, and they will help you. They're already helping you in everyday life, but they'll help you even more. So, next one. Remember that the universe has your back, so if you need help or are struggling with something, then ask the universe to help you. Once you've asked for help, you then have to trust that the universe is working on it for you, and then let go and let the universe do its thing. You also have to trust that your spirit guides are doing everything in their power to help you as well as your higher self. Don't forget to trust yourself too. Trust that you will attract the right things for you for your highest good, and trust that once you've asked for something, the universe is working on it. Do what you can to ensure what you've asked for can come into reality, but don't stress about it or overwork yourself trying to manifest it quicker. It will come when the time is right and you are at the right vibration to receive it. So, trust is a big thing, especially trusting the universe when you're manifesting, and trusting the universe when you're trying to break your thought processes and behavior patterns. You have to trust that you're on the right path for you, and you have to trust that the universe is putting you on the right path and is only sending you stuff that you can cope with and is for your highest good. So when things seem a little bit tough or a little bit tricky, or you're giving yourself a hard time, just remind yourself that the universe has got your back. It doesn't send you more than what you can deal with, even if it feels like it. And it is for your highest good. So if you can get through the dark then you've got amazing love, light, and positivity waiting at the end of it. So trust that that is what's happening. Trust that you're going through this process to achieve that later, and trust that everything's going to be okay, basically, and everything will be okay. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to do a part two for the video, so keep an eye out for that one. I hope the tips I've given you so far are helpful. And if you've got any questions, don't forget to ask or comment below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And keep tuned for part two of how to reprogram your mind with positivity and break those negative behavior patterns. Okay, so love, light, and healing to each and every one of you again. Thanks for watching and check me out soon for the next video. Bye. Bye for now.